How's it guys, and welcome back to another HanSelah video. I'm Han. I talk about all things to do with graphic design and running my own freelance graphic design business. And welcome back to my Building a Brand series, where I am basically self-branding my graphic design studio or graphic design self, HanSelah, and I'm following the same steps that I use on my own branding clients. So if someone reaches out on my website to do branding or rebranding, this is the same process that I do when I do a client branding project. So if you haven't seen part 1, I recommend going and watching part 1 first. And in part 1, I talk about how we build brand strategy and answer questions and a brand questionnaire and how we decide who we are and what we do and who we're talking to. So that is all the research that we do before we even start the design. Now we are in part 2. This is a 5-part series, but part 2 is basically the mood board phase of the project. So how I build a mood board, why we build a mood board, and how your mood board informs all of your design decisions for the remainder of the project. I'm going to walk you through my decisions and why I've done what I've done. So to start off, I started looking on Pinterest and Behance, and I was trying to look at things that kind of sparked my interest and made me happy and kind of just resembled kind of the vibe that I want for my branding. Obviously, when it comes to mood board, you need to look at not just visuals like, logos and patterns and icons and layout examples. You need to look at different fonts, for example, different colors, different ways that people are showing their branding. And all of these influence how your mood board is going to look, as well as any photography styles or perhaps icons or drawing styles. Anything like that is all really important when it comes to building your brand and adding that into your mood board. So it's pitch black outside now. That's why I closed my shutters, but also because I don't want you guys seeing directly outside my house. So yeah, safety. I am celebrating. I made myself a cheeky little cocktail because my best friend just called me. She's back home in South Africa and she just phoned me to ask me to be her bridesmaid for her wedding. So I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. So I'm definitely celebrating today. I took a break from doing all the design stuff and yeah, it's going well. I'm at the phase now where I'm trying to choose my brand colors. So yeah, I've kind of hit a little bit of a brick wall, which is why I'm going to sit, have my cocktail, have a little break, and then I'll come back to it after a while. Anyway, so I just need to figure out what I want and then we'll continue. Have to get the celebratory cocktail. Calm down, please. Careful, careful. My cocktail's here. What you doing? This. It's gross. So gross. Now, I was really struggling with what I wanted to do. As you can see here, I've always been a very bright, bold, vibrant designer. I love to have colors and patterns and textures, and I love to do icons and illustration. I'm a very illustration-based graphic designer, so bright colors and all of that, that's very much me. And I was hitting a couple of brick walls because I was trying to figure out, I had kind of idea what I want for my fonts. I know I want them to be really strong, bold fonts. I didn't want anything serif. I didn't want anything wispy. I didn't want anything intricate. I want something that's kind of punchy, okay, confident. But when it came to choosing colors and looking at colors, I was completely stumped. So what did I do? I went and looked at graphic design books, of course, to get inspiration. So the first one, obviously I was looking at Draplin Design Co., which is Aaron James Draplin, and his book, which is stunning. He's got so many colors, which I love. It's very similar to the kind of style that I like. Oh my word, I literally just turned to the page that I was literally going to show you. What are the odds? So when we look at this page, I love the colors that are used throughout this page. I love that they've got the pink and the yellow. I love that they've got the red and the yellow and the blue. Those are all very nice colors, and the orange and the black with the yellow as well, because, okay, this was my dilemma. My main color that I wanted to use was orange. I wanted it to be a black, white, and then orange. These colors are really great. I just feel like those are so good for a graphic design studio. And then I started thinking, I was like, why do I like those colors so much? What other graphic designers use orange? Well, a lot of graphic designers. Not saying it's bad, because it's a great color. Orange is friendly, it's approachable, but it's also professional. It can be dressed up and down for various situations. So that's why it is such a great color, and I really wanted to use orange. But then when I started looking at it, I realized I don't want to just be another orange graphic design studio. For example, if we look at Draplin Design Co., it's orange. If we look at Jesse Nyberg, orange. If we look at Jesse Nyberg's graphic design studio, Questa Studios, orange. If we look at Will Patterson, he's also orange. If we look at Nonstop Design, Jack Watson, it's also orange. If we look at Megan Weeks, she's a shade of orange. Even if we look at Lucy Eden from Eden Brands, she's got this turquoisey color and then this like yellowy orangey color. It's not exactly orange though, so I'll let that one slide. And then same as Elliot is a cool guy. His is more yellow than orange. But can you see there are a lot of graphic designers that use orange, which is not a problem again, but yeah, I just feel it's a bit too saturated. And a lot of the great graphic designers that I get inspiration from are all orange. So I was like, okay, maybe I should not use orange. Maybe I'll use it as a secondary color rather. So that's what I've kind of been playing, and I've kind of managed to pull it down into this sort of palette where we've got the yellow and the orange and a little bit of like a nice bright blue, like an electric blue. But I also like that pop of orange and the yellow, like a warm yellow, like a custard yellow, not a lemon yellow. Lemon yellow that's too sour for me. But I'm really liking it, and I'm not a pink fan. I personally don't really enjoy the color pink, but pink looks amazing with blue. It looks amazing with red. It looks amazing with green. So it's a very versatile color because it's a middle color. I feel like red is a little bit too aggressive. So yeah, as you can see, I really love colors. I really love looking at colors, and I had to crack open my bookshare and get some inspiration. I was even looking at my Brand by Hand book by John Contino. Anyway, I started looking at some illustrations that he had done. I'll see if I can try and find it. So this center artwork in the middle, oh, you can hardly see it, there you go. That one kind of sparked my interest, the colors, but again, it's oranges and reds, but these are a bit more muted, and I'm definitely not a muted person. I don't want something that's muted and neutral, so definitely something more along the lines of Draplin Design Co. colorways. Like, you can see he has so many colorful things, but his main color is orange. So yeah, I've kind of just been playing around figuring out what I want to do. Maybe I'm overthinking this too much, maybe not. I must admit, it's so hard to brand yourself. It's very different when I am doing a client work, and then I'm trying to see myself not as me. I'm trying to picture, okay, this is just like a client project. But it's so difficult, like, self-branding yourself as a graphic designer. If you're a graphic designer, let me know if you feel the same way. I find being able to brand for my clients is so easy, but when it comes to branding for myself, yeah, it's a lot of decisions that I need to make. And then I'm like, what happens if I like this and I don't like this? And then one day I do this and then I don't like it the next day. So I don't know. It's a lot of push and shove within my own brain. But I think I'm at a stage now where I really like how this mood board is looking. I absolutely love this couch, this bright orange couch with the posters in the back. And I love that sort of typography RK shape. I don't know what shape it is. But I love that kind of fluid movement, that kind of like cohesive joining movement. I love the icons over here that are hand drawn, and they just have that sort of illustrative feeling to them, because obviously I'm an illustrator as well and I love to draw. So having a hand drawn element is something that I really like. Hand drawn element, get it? Anyway, and here we have the yellows and the oranges, which I really love. Those were like the OG colors, but maybe I should bring in that pink just for some like pop. Yeah, perhaps. I'm still on the fence about the blue. And then I was starting to look at this green, because I really like these green colors for Level Up. Except the only problem with the green is it reminds me of Wise Banking, which is not a problem because I use Wise Banking. You can click the link below and you can see why I use Wise for international transfers for my clients. It's not sponsored, by the way. I just use Wise and it's really great. But then I started thinking, I'm going to look like the Wise Banking app, which I also don't really want. So I don't know. I need to figure out what I'm doing here. But I'm having fun. And I'm really liking this aesthetic. Let's say that. Let me play around a little bit more with this mood board and I'll come back and we'll see what happens. So it is now 2 days later that I am now filming, and I like to do my mood boards at least over 3 to 4 days. And the reason for that is so I get a chance to really think on what I'm doing, because obviously the mood board phase of the project is literally setting out the initial design for your project, all the creative decisions that you're going to be making. So I really like to spend a lot of time on this part of the project. Anyway, I'm busy editing the video right now, and I had this great idea of showing you how you can also create a color palette from your mood board. So what you actually want to do is take a screenshot of your mood board. From there, you're going to embed the image, and then you're going to go into create an object mosaic. So you can only do this if you've embedded your image, and I'm going to select here 10 by 10. So this is going to be a lot of colors, as you can see. This is way too many colors to work off from for a branding project. So we are quickly going to delete all of those colors because we don't need them. And we're going to do this again and say object, create object mosaic. Now we're going to change it to a 4x4 grid. So there's going to be 16 different colors. But again, this is too much. I do like that pop of purple though. I think that is quite cute and funky. Remember I said I wanted some sort of periwinkle, but it's still not going to work. So let's do it again and create another object mosaic, and let's change it from 4 to 3. So we're going to have 9 colors. Now this is definitely a lot closer to what I'm looking for, but again, these colors are looking really muted. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the brown completely. I'm going to update the pink with the pink that's in my mood board, and I'm going to update the blue with something a little bit more electric that suits what I'm looking for, so that's better. I'm going to remove the double black, I'm going to completely remove the green, and I'm going to place the black up there. And there you go, boom. As you can see, this is pretty much the same color palette that I had created the other day, except this is just updating it based on the AI within Adobe Illustrator pulling out the colors. So the only addition was I had this bright green, but I think I'm going to remove it because again, I don't want to look like the wires banking up. So this works out pretty good. And I'm just going to update that orange with the bright orange that I had in my previous one. So let's just ink chop that. I think that looks better. And the same for the yellow. I prefer this bottom yellow. They're very similar, but I do prefer the first initial yellow. And there we have it. A beautiful color palette. Put the black on the bottom. It's always good to have the black to like anchor your color palette at the bottom. So as you can see, it is now the following day after that, and this is why I like to take as much time as possible when I do my mood boards, because one day I may love something and then I sleep on it and I wake up the next morning and I open my Illustrator artboard and I'm like, I don't really love this. So that's why, in my opinion, it's very important to space out your mood board so that you have time for your eyes to adjust and you can come back and look at it with fresh eyes when you come back the next morning. So I'm going to show you what I changed the mood board to. So if you look at the current existing mood board, the top right one where it says Lola, that was just because I like the colors, but I didn't like the font. So there's no point in me keeping that as a reference because I only like the colors and I can incorporate the colors into the mood board itself. So I'm going to change that one. Then in the middle left where it says Pure Local Honey, again, I don't like the font, but I like the colors. But again, I can bring those colors through in the mood board, so that one's got to go. Then we have the bottom left, which I like the font, but I don't like the graphic on the far left in the red. So that's kind of putting me off. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to rather replace that with something that resembles the logo or the logo style that I'm kind of going towards. So that one's going to go. And then the bottom right one with level up, we're obviously not using the color green anymore, and I don't like that font that they used for level up. So there's no point in me keeping it, so I've removed that as well. And this is now the new and improved mood board. Bam! So in the top left, we've kept that OG original fluid shape that I really like. I like that it's a natural shape. It's not too like structured. And there's a way that I can somehow bring in that idea of connection or like fluidity, if that's the correct word, into my design. I've now swapped these two over. So the couch was in the middle, but now it's on the side, just for an equal visual balance in the mood board. But I really like what's going on here. I like this idea of connection, and I love this idea of like things piecing together or like connecting together, communicating, and kind of coming together to form one graphic. So I quite like that idea. Then we've obviously kept the couch. I've kept the hands, but I've recolored it to this bright pink, which I really like. I've also zoomed in on the Capri artwork in the middle. I've replaced this one on the left with a beautiful typeface that I found. I'm not going to use this exact font, but I just like the visual vibe and style that this font has. The bottom left, I love this idea, and I want to do something like this for my logo, where there's some some sort of like connection between letters or something to that effect. So I really enjoy that, and I thought that accurately depicts what I kind of have in my mind. Next up, we're keeping the chow chow because I absolutely love these colors and I love the font. I love the photography style. This is really, really beautiful. And then lastly, we have a bold line in the nice blue colors, and this actually helped me refine my brand colors as well looking at it. But I like this font. I like that it's in capital letters and it's bold. Well, I mean, it says bold line. You can see my new brand colors that I've adjusted. Previously, these were them, and these are the new brand colors, which I'm loving a lot more. I feel they're more vibrant and punchy. I think they work really well together. I think they can be dressed up and down, and they can be equal parts professional and playful, which is what I'm going for. So yeah, I'm really happy with this final mood board now, and as you can see, it's probably taken about 5 days for me to form this mood board in total, from start to finish, from sourcing Pinterest images and going on Behance and looking at different visual styles. But now, if we look at the mood board, I have inspiration for all areas of my branding. So I've got logo mark inspiration, I've got logo inspiration, I've got font inspiration, I've got graphic or pattern inspiration, I've got icon inspiration, I've got photography style inspiration, I've got some color inspiration, I've got some line work and how I want things to flow throughout my branding. So I'm really impressed and happy with this, and I definitely feel that I'm confident that I can now create a beautiful logo and branding suite with this mood board. So this concludes part 2 of part 5, and the next video, which is going to be part 3, is going to be all about how I actually take this mood board now and how I create a logo design and different branding assets for my branding suite. So this will be like my primary logo, my logo mark, my brand colors, my brand fonts and typography, perhaps a brand pattern, my brand icons. Do I need a business card? Do I need an email signature? Do I need a template for invoices and quotes? So this is now going to be the next step, which is going to be part 3, and you can watch me use this mood board to influence my graphic design decisions in the next phase. As I said in part 1, this is the exact process that I take when I have a branding client that comes to me on my website, and this is the structure that I follow to build their brands. Although it is difficult self-branding for myself, I'm feeling really happy and confident. I've had 5 days now to work on this, to really think things over, and I'm so excited. I'm really feeling inspired to design and create, and that is the one thing that I always know that my mood board is ready to go when I'm feeling the spark of energy, and I'm really excited to roll out the remainder of the branding. So guys, I hope you have a lovely day wherever you're in the world. Thank you for watching. Please give this a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and let me know in the comments which was your favorite part of this video. I hope that you are learning from it as well. If you want to see more informative graphic design videos, you can watch this video over here, and it can teach you a little bit more about being a graphic designer. Have a lovely day wherever you're in the world, and I will see you soon. Bye.